Hello everyone and welcome to Orange University. On tonight's episode, we're going to play some Dimir Bay deck. So, of course, with Edge of Eternity, I think a lot of people are trying out the Azorius Bay, or actually the Azorius Synthesizer deck. And of course, that also runs the Repurposing Bay. But with Dimir, we actually have a lot more early game artifacts that we can utilize onto the Repurposing Bay and kind of churn through that mana value card, right? If you remember, for the Repurposing Bay, it is a birthing pot for artifacts. So 3 mana and 2 to tap, sacrifice another artifact, search your library for an artifact with mana value 1 plus the sacrifice artifact's mana value, and put that directly onto the battlefield. Obviously, activate as a sorcery. So with this deck, we can actually chain out a lot of cards, unlike the Azorius one where you just want to bring out the Synthesizer. With this deck, obviously we would like the Synthesizer, but we can go up from 3 to 4 and get in Oildeep Gearhulk, a very, very good sort of a card, right? A very good card to cheat into play because it tosses our opponent, makes them discard a card if we want to, but they do also draw a card back. So it doesn't entirely force that card out, but there could be a very impactful card that we take out right away. We can also get into a Solemn Simulacrum. If we're mana screwed, this can help us fix that to some extent. And of course, just like the Azorius version, we can get the Fire Crystal, which is, it's something. We kind of cheat that out into play. And with Dimir, now that we're not focusing on just the fast, aggressive push to the finish line, now we can put in the affinity of artifact cards, like Memory Guardian. So I want to be able to sacrifice the Memory Guardian and get into a 6-drop like Chimil or Nexus Becoming. We also have another affinity in Demonic Junker, a 7-mana artifact that could only, only cost 1, and then we can sacrifice to an 8-drop, and the 8-drop that we want to get from the new set is the Extinguisher Battleship, an 8-mana artifact that could be a 10/10, but most importantly, when this artifact or when this spacecraft enters, destroy target non-creature permanent, and then this deals 4 damage to each creature. Now, that is an insane ability because if you read this carefully enough, it says target non-creature permanent. So basically anything, just not a creature. Now, this deck, we can handle creatures pretty well with Grim Baubles and Tithing Blade, so we can pop our opponent's lands. And that's an LD card. Or we can hit one of their key combo piece or key tempo piece, and then it does 4 damage to the board, so any straggling creatures also gets removed. So only the big creatures get left over. And if our opponent has big creatures, that's where Tithing Blade can come in and get rid of all of those. So that's the whole idea of how I would like this Dimir Bay deck to work. But, of course, with the Dimir versions, with Simulacrum Synthesizer, we can also run some good Uthros land, right? The, what is that? Tolarian Academy wannabe. It's a pretty good card. So we can probably crew it up or station it up pretty easily with a bunch of Simulacrum tokens. And then we can just add a bunch of mana and start hardcasting things like the Extinguisher Battleship on the cheap. So that's the whole idea that I thought of when I kind of brewed together this deck. Now let's talk about the deck list. So early game, of course, there's a lot of chocobo decks. We need to have 4 Grim Bauble, 2 Candy Trail, and 4 Tithing Blade, which is an early game turn 1 or turn 2 play to make sure that we have an artifact on board, and hopefully that artifact also took care of an opponent's creature. Then going to turn 3, here's where all the important cards come in. Of course, we can play one of the 3 Repurposing Bay or one of the 3 Simulacrum Synthesizers. We can Repo Bay the Tithing Blade into a Synthesizer, which is very good. You can also Repo Bay the Grim Bauble into a Tithing Blade, which later on then repurpose again into a Synthesizer. Now that is a crazy chain. This deck, however, we're cutting it all the way down to 1 Braided Net. Braided Net's a very good card, but I just can't fit it in with all the kind of the chain up that I want to go to. And I also wanted to include 1 Esoteric Duplicator. A weird duplicator, if you will. A very, very cool card with this deck because whenever we sacrifice an artifact, we can pay 2. If we do, at the beginning of the next end step, we create a copy of that artifact, and that's real good because we're going to sacrifice a lot of artifact to the Repurposing Bay, but we can copy whatever we sacrifice, which will keep its mana value for us to sacrifice again potentially in the future. And we can very easily get mana in this deck because of our double Tolarian Academy. Alright, and then that's going to our 4-drop. We got 1 Fire Crystal, 2 Oildeep Gearhulk, and 2 Solemn Simulacrum. Now, I'm not looking to hardcast these cards because I want to cheat into it, but what I'm looking to hardcast is one of the 5 Memory Guardian, one of the 4 of the 5-mana Memory Guardian that we can cast for cheap, one of the 4-off Demonic Junker that we can also cast for cheap, and then we want to cheat in a Chimil of the Inner Sun, a Nexus of Becoming, or one of the 2 Extinguisher Battleships. Now, the 6 drops and then the 8 drops, I'm not 100% sold on yet. I do like those cards, but I'm not sure which one is the better one. If I know Chimil is better than Nexus Becoming, I'll have to Chimil. If I know Nexus Becoming is better than Chimil, I'll have to Nexus. And the Nexus does help us bring in a Fire Crystal, so we don't have to hardcast it, and there's no red in this deck. So those are all the things that I thought of, but again, it's not fully tuned. It's fine-tuned enough that I think we can stand up to today's metagame, but it's not fully tuned that it's the best version of the Bay deck yet. So I'm going to try it out. Now, for the land base, we're going to run 23 lands because, well, of course, we get a lot of churning through with Repurposing Bay, and we can ramp a little bit with Solemn Simulacrum. So we're going to run 2 islands, 5 swamps, and 2 Uthros. So those are our basic colors. And then we have 4 Gloomlake Verge, 4 Undercity Sewer, and 4 Watery Grave for our dual color land, and we have 2 Fomori Vaults because that can help us kind of fetch the cards that we need because we're going to have a lot of artifacts on board. So that's the idea. Now let's see how this deck will do in the metagame. Alright, our opponent is Massulo. Okay, we got the 1-lander. Classic. I do have 3 lands this time, but not a good 3 lands, huh? This is better, but I gotta put away 2 cards. So, like this? Oh, this feels bad. Alright, Massulo, what are you doing here? Guess we'll play a tap land and pray. Bandit's Talons. Already kind of scary. Discard deck, well, I don't have anything. A discard deck while I don't have anything. Found for Unholy Annex. I mean, I could Blade into a card. What's a 3-drop that I even want to hit? I don't know. Guess we find out. Look! Sack nothing. Duplicator is nice. I think we get the Duplicator. Yeah, Duplicator is pretty nice. Great Arashi. I don't know what our opponent is doing. Preacher. Alright. I get to have a 4-drop out. I get an Oildeep. Or I could saw. No, I don't think I saw it here, right? I think I Oildeep. What do you have? Oh, Liliana. Liliana's scary. 6 mana though. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I don't want to get hit by the Arch Enemy Charm. So I think we take that. And then we take an Undercity Sewer, because don't really get to do... Oh, Fire Crystal. I don't get to play it. There's no way for me to play the Crystal. So I guess it has to go. Whenever you sack this artifact or another artifact, you know pay 2. I'm going to take a lot here. And now he has a vampire too. That's... I can get a 2 mana spell out here or a 5 mana, but Man. Like getting a 5-man... Wait, no, I should attack first. He has lifelink. What if he blocks? I can only get out a Guardian, which is just... Do I want the Solemn? Not really. There's a direct... I mean, you could dress me. I don't care about that. There's a Bitter Triumph. It's probably the scariest card. The Bloodletter is also scary. Double Bloodletter kind of just kills me, right? Yeah, I don't want to get hit by the double Bloodletter. My draws have not been great. If I have another Repurposing Bay, though, that would be different. He's got 5 mana. Ritual Chamber for 5/5. Uthros doesn't do anything, huh? I can Formally Revolt, but I also tax too much of my mana. Is there a way for me to sack to get 2? No, there isn't, huh? I can sack the Candy Trail. Oh, I guess I do this. Auto pay. Give me a blade. He sacks the Bloodletter. Alright, I won't. Do I not draw a card? No, I only draw a card if I sacrifice it, right? So... Oh, there is the Simulacrum. It's a little late. Is it even time for a Simulacrum? Do I even have time for Simulacrum? That's so wild. I mean, he can kill the Memory Guardian. It's not really much I can do, right? Quasi-Revenant. There's the second bay. I needed that second bay. Actually, but I'm not sure if this is in time for any of these. What do I get? Oh, Tithing Blade. Yeah, I will get the Tithing Blade back. Let's get the Braided Net. I'm gonna need that. Let's get the blade back. Ah! Got rid of my second bay. It's like he's cheating and knows my hand. He never duressed me when I had Swamp. Second Ritual Chamber. I didn't tap the wrong one, right? Grim Bauble. No. Gotta tap the Flamori Vote. Tap this Swamp. And we'll sack this. Let's get out the Repo Bay. What can we get for 4 mana? Nothing, huh? Yeah, I mean, I can get out the Repo Bay, but I think I just want the Simulacrum. Those are okay cards. Okay. I want to throw out the Bauble. Now I need to hold cards in my hand, right? No, this is tough. Liliana is gonna create the zombies.
The undead make great minions.
He's gonna sack his own creature?
And silent.
Okay.
Ooh, time to wake up and smell the decay.
See, I sacked those. Do I want to bring that back? I could just pay this.
Death is such an effective tool.
How's it going? You really tapped yourself out for that one. That's a 40. I'll take it. Bang, bang, bang. Nice black deck you have. GG. Oh, that esoteric generator. Insane. Alright, our opponent is Legendary Lupia. How legendary are you? Well, we get to go first. Lots of sewer gaming. Maybe? Maybe lots of sewer gaming? I don't know. I don't know if this game will ever happen. Gloom Lake Verge. I do need land number 4 for Oildeep, so we'll keep it. See what they're doing. Stomping Grounds. Interesting. I don't need land number 5. I guess I didn't need land number 4 either, because Synthesizer's Scry 2. It kind of just does its thing. Breeding Pool, tap land. Alright. And we'll get our synthesizers out. Solemn. Solemn's pretty nice. I'm not sure if I need the ramp, but I could use it. If he doesn't do anything here. Dimir Battlecry. He did do something here. Now I have an issue, right? Do I Oildeep him? I think so. I could Tithing Blade here. Make him lose this and have him do it again. Ah, yeah, let's Tithing Blade it. It's not the best, but it's also not the worst. 4 mana Vestige. You get to cheat in a 4 mana spell. Is it just going to be a land? Or is it going to be an actual 4 mana card? Vestiges are nice, right? Whenever it leaves, I can't even like exile it because that's still leaving. No way he has nothing. He's thinking about which to put in. I would... Okay, my best case scenario is if he does a land. I don't think he's going to do a land. So let's see what he does. Also, Oildeep is... Oh. That's not great. He gets 1 mana. So... I could Junker the Outcaster Trailblazer, but I don't think I need to kill it. It just draws a card, right? Good to look at his hand. War 2. Dragon Hawk. Let's take out that. Battle Crier. Without the Battle Crier, his deck kind of falls apart. Although I do need to clear every creature on board. Clear. I can't talk, dude. For 8 mana. I could do that. I don't have 8 mana. I won't get to 8 mana for a long time. I have a Junker. Like, do I use the Junker for anything? He's gonna play a Dragon Hawk. Draws a card. He's not going to be able to play any of these, right? So I'll take the damage because he can't play it. Memory Guardian? I don't want that. Get the Junker out. I'll just kill this one. See if he wants to block the Oildeep, but I mean he doesn't have to block it, but not blocking it is taking 10 damage. He does block, which is very good for me. Yes, I lose the Oildeep, but so what, right? Like this is so much more damage on board. Or so much damage off the board because he doesn't have to outcast the Trailblazer. You can play the Vestige. He does play the Vestige. Could join another land. I don't want to get another land. So 7 means this will only make 7 7s. I don't think there's a way for me to get this to an 8. I mean, I do it anyways because this force him to block. This is the one that entered the battlefield this turn. He has to block the 7. He cannot block the 4, or he dies. So that's how math works. Now it's down to 3. Because put 1 on the battlefield. Can he pop off this turn? Outcaster Trope. That's the last card I think he would put. Because he loses the mana from the plot. I do have a spaceship, but like this spaceship's not doing anything, right? The one time I needed a God Core, I don't have the God Core. He gets to draw a lot of cards through here. He gets to draw a card, and then he gets a mana. So now he has 5 mana. He can play the Cactus Shore Gut, gain Trample and Haste. Okay. He gets to draw 2 cards. And he has Trample and Haste. But it doesn't have lethal with this board. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8. Make a 4/4, then I'll destroy. I'll draw a card. Oildeep, GG. Alright, we waited long enough for that spaceship to do his thing. But we got there. Alright, our opponent is Tyler the Fervent. Ah, jeez. Every time I see Fervent, it's going to be some degenerate aggro decks. And we got 5 crystal turn 1. No, that's terrible. This is a horrible hand. But I have Simulacrum, so I don't think I can mulligan. And I'm going first, so... Let's put the Uthros out there. Yeah. Hello, how's it going? How are you doing? I Candy Trail. I Scry 2. Memory Guardian and Sol. Would I be able to play any of these? The answer is no. Weapons Manufacturing. Cool, let's play that guy. Tithing Blade, I don't want that. I do want to land. Do I want to land? What can I actually draw here? Sack the Candy Trail. This feels so bad. Because of the Volt, right? Alright. I'm gonna hope for the best, but honestly, this freaking Formoli Volt and the Oildeep is gonna get me. What a good start for our opponent. Very good start for him. Terrible start for me. They even got more artifacts, which is gonna ping us for like 1,000 damage. Good look at the top 2 cards. Memory Guardian. I guess I could sort of play that, right? 3 mana. Simulacrum. I can play Simulacrum as well. I swear to God, if he has a counterspell, I'm out. Okay. 2 islands, 2 swamps. I get the Oildeep. Gotta go big quick. gonna torch. I mean, I already cast it, so it's fine. You should have done it in response to me scrying. Because now I get 2 of those. Station. Station. Fully stationed. That means I can tap this for, let's say, a buttload. I think that's a fair word. Prison Snare. It's going to snare one to the Simulacrum, probably. Get 5 mana. I played the Oildeep. Phantom Train and Repurposing Bay. Well, I don't want him to have a Repurposing Bay, right? Sacrifice another artifact. This once encountered on this vehicle, it becomes a spirit. You can sacrifice a lot of artifacts. I still have this mana. Now I can sack the Candy Trail. But that would make my artifact counts go down. Do we have creatures? I don't think you have creatures. I mean, I would take a Repurposing Bay probably, right? That seems like a pretty good card to have. Down to 10. Alright, Tyler. You got 1 turn to pop off. He does have the Phantom Train to pop off, I guess. Percussions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 damage. It's a lot. It just didn't happen. Alright, so he's got 4 mana he's holding up for something. 7. I would like to use some to play my Repurposing Bay. Alright, I can get a 6 mana drop out. What's a good 6 mana card? For my Memory Guardian, it just flies. I guess I sacked the oil. I mean, I could play the other Oildeep first. Okay, GG. I couldn't even target Oildeep myself because I don't have a hand. I just draw a card, I think. Ah, GG. Alright, our opponent is Ancalagon. Opponent goes first. Boy, this hand is so good if our opponent is just any sort of creature deck. Landware Elf? Alright, let's get it on. You got creatures, we got killed. Bolt the bird. Tifa. Like I said. Bolt the bird. Let's do some scrying. Tithing Blade is nice. I would like that. You got any more birds for me to bolt? Oh. Well, that's an issue, right? This probably interest tapped. Let's kill one of them. It's gonna sack the Landwehr Elf. Can his 3-card kill me? Let's find out. He's got another Landwehr Elf. Is his last card a protection spell though? Alright, I do have a Memory Guardian. I kind of want to play the synthesizer out though. It's pretty important. But I take an extra... You know what? Yeah, that's a protection spell for sure. I knew that. You knew that. Everybody knew that. Ooh, a tapper. Tapper is pretty good, but I don't have time to do the tapper thing, huh? Undercity Sewer. So next turn I could play... Yeah, I don't have time for the tapping. But I do want to keep it, so I think we do this. It's probably just a snakeskin veil. Another Landwehr Elf. Not really point in doing this, but I'm gonna do it. I'll keep that. Not easy for our opponent to deal with that. Let's put a Memory Guardian out here. So put a pretty big creature. And I'll put a Demonic Junker, which will put an even bigger creature. I'll kill his Landwehr Elf. Ah! GG. Didn't want your Landwehr Elf to be killed? I didn't even target your Tifa. Alright, our opponent is Kuroski. Kuroski. We gotta go first. Very bad hand, but it is what it is. Alright. Maybe we'll get something out of it. Bobarino. Did we kill the Bob? You know, we gotta get the synthesizer out when we have a chance, right? Yo. Free card draw is pretty good for him. Preacher. That's nice. Nice for him. I'm gonna Oildeep him, I guess. But come on. Double synthesis. Yeah, I don't need this swamp anymore. Very nice draws for our opponent, I think. Cecil. He's gonna... Alright. That's something, I guess. We're gonna Oildeep down. What's in your hand, huh? Another Strategic Betrayal, Arch Enemy's Charm. I don't want him to just use the Betrayal, so get it gone. There's lots of card draws for him because of the Bob. I mean, I could have killed a Bob, but I think I would just fall too far behind if I did. I should have double block. Well, it's Death Touch. If I double block, it would have both died. Sure. You can take my duplicator, I guess. He actually cannot Arch Enemy Charm my creatures, so I think we go for the attack. Oh, it's giving it back to me. Cool. Would you like to draw an extra card, or would you like to lose your confidant? He lost his Cecil. That's his life gainer. Alright. You could bring it back with the charm, but... oh boy. 5 mana means I can bring the Tithing Blade back with the craft. He already knows what's in my hand. I don't know if that's necessarily a good idea. Oh, is that a Repo Bay I see? Jesus. Okay, I can get a 4 mana card by sacking a Simulacrum. I think we do that. Let's go wild. We'll never see it coming. You gotta block all of them. Any one of these 10-10s goes through and you die. That's the Fire Crystal. That's why it's in the deck. That's 1 block, 2 blocks. Nope. Nope. This one's gonna kill you. There you go. Down to 1. Oh wait, no. Does he? No, he dies because of the Cecil damage. GG. Yeah. So here's what happened. If those of you who are curious why he dead, even though he had 5 life, the Cecil, well, the Deep Iron Bat gained him in life, so he goes to 6, right? Then my guy, where is it? My guy, the Oildeep Gearhulk dealt 4 damage, so it was a 2, and then the Cecil does the last 2 damage, and that's why he's dead. GG. Welcome back, everyone. Now that you saw all those Dimir Bay games, how does this deck feel? I do like this deck. I'm gonna say it's not as crazy good as the Azorius or, you know, quote-unquote pseudo Jeskai version, where we're just United Battlefront into the Simulacrum Synthesizer and trying to win from there. It's not as bursty. It's not as, you know, outright winning as that, but it's got a lot of longevity in this deck because we're repurposing Bay into larger and larger artifacts. It makes it less likely to get blown out by a effect that an opponent could have that exiles the entire board or exile, you know, like temporary lockdown like effects. It's not as likely to get blown out by those kind of scenario. But I don't think either of that matters in the current meta game because so many chocobos. So many green decks. And because of that, I think this deck actually fares a little bit better because we answer early game board with our Grim Baubles and Tithing Blades better than the Azorius versions. The Azorius versions try to target with get lost and things like that, and our opponent plays, you know, the Snakeskin Veil, and then we get blown out next turn by a 64-64 Hydra. So those are the scenarios that I've encountered with the Azorius deck, but with this deck, we can just Tithing Blade it, and they got 1 creature, it's sacrificed, and that's game over for them. So I do think there are there are pros and cons to both decks, and this is a different version of the deck, and it's very fun to play, and that's really my sort of baseline. One of the best cards that I did not notice, I thought of it being a cool card, I didn't notice it being such a insanely impactful card, the Esoteric Duplicator. Oh man, that one game where we had the Repurposing Bay and we just keep sacrificing things and copying them with the Esoteric Duplicator got us so much value. That card was insane. Or that game was insane. But overall, I think this deck can put up the numbers, can do the thing, and it's something different that maybe a lot of opponents may not see coming. And that's really all I got for you today. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.